This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
This is Tiny at Obsessive Tiny on Letterboxd.
And this is a bonus episode of ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. That's what I say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I have cat hair on my microphone. Okay. Okay, hello and welcome to the Obsessive Viewer, a special bonus episode of the Obsessive Viewer Podcast, a podcast where we're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show. Each episode, you can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com and more podcasts presented by Obsessive Viewer at ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts. You can also like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And if you'd like to support what we do here, you can become a patron at Patreon.com/ObsessiveViewer, where at $1 per month you get access to over 100 exclusive B-roll episodes. At $2 per month you get that, plus TV review and reaction episodes that are coming out weekly. And at the $5 per month level, you get all of that, plus movie commentary tracks and immediate reviews. And finally, at the $10 a month level, you get everything that I just said, plus early access to podcast episodes and previously unreleased content. And again, that's at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. So Tiny, we are here in your truck.
Yep.
It's resurrecting the fabled parking lot special.
Notorious,
yes. I do not believe we have done a parking lot special. I don't think I've gotten a parking lot special in a very long time, since obviously 2019 because of the everything.
Right.
So yeah, we just saw Mortal Kombat.
We did.
In the theater. And this was your first time coming back to the movie theater since 2019.
Yeah.
It was the first time that you and I have seen a movie in the theater in 491 days, since December 19th, 2019, when we saw Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Mm-hmm. How did you feel coming back to the movie theater, and how did you feel coming back to the movie theater for Mortal Kombat?
It was good to be back. It's been forever, like a year and a half, so yeah, that was good. I kind of like the social distancing because you got a buffer between you and everybody else. That's kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, it's good to be back. It kind of feels a little strange because it's been so long, but yeah.
Good. Oh yeah. Did you? So we both got concessions. I got a drink, and you got a drink and popcorn. And did you get candy as well?
I snuck some candy in.
Oh, nice. What did you sneak in?
Skittles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Taking money away from the theater.
Yep.
That's fine. They're not struggling.
They got $30 from me today. So.
Right. That's fair. But no, when you got the drink, did you do any? Because I didn't notice this the first time I went back to the theater. Like, because in the previous episode of the podcast, I talked about how I came and saw Voyagers, and I got a drink that day. And I didn't touch the touch screen, but I took like a napkin and touched the touch screen through the napkin because extra paranoid and everything.
Yeah.
But this time I realized that they have the freestyle Coke machines, and they have a little QR code icon that when you fill up your cup with ice, you just take your phone and scan the QR code, and it sends you a link to your phone that you go to, and you just select what drink you want, and it automatically pours it without having to touch the screen. Did you utilize that at all?
I didn't, but that's really cool.
Nice. And now we're in an enclosed space, and the germs are all over us. But no, I'm vaccinated, and you're halfway there, so
yeah,
we're good.
Yep.
Do you feel like this is safe? Do you feel like this was a good idea for us to go to the movie theater?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
I don't. Even during the pandemic, I probably would have done it. Yeah,
that's kind of how I'm feeling now that I've gone to the theater a couple of times post-vaccine and everything. Like, I'm realizing, like, yeah, I could have gone to the theater. I didn't want to, just to be extra, due to an abundance of caution, which is going to be my stand-up special name. So anyway, so we're here at a matinee on Saturday. The movie is Mortal Kombat. It came out yesterday on HBO Max and in the theater. Mortal Kombat, I'm going to go ahead and read the plot summary. MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. Mortal Kombat stars Louis Tan as Cole Young, Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade, Josh Lawson as Kano, Joe Taslim as Baihan or Sub-Zero, Makad Brooks as Jax, and a bunch of other people. Director Simon McQuoid, and writers were Greg Russo and Dave Callahan. It's obviously based on the video game franchise of the same name. So we're going to do a parking lot special, which is just a bonus episode that is just talking about the movie. I think we'll do a non-spoiler and spoiler review.
Sure.
Okay. So non-spoilers, Tiny. Non-spoilers. And what is your history with Mortal Kombat? Did you see the 90s movie, and how did you play the games at all? Like, going into Mortal Kombat, how did you feel? And what's your history?
Yeah, the history is pretty sparse with me. I never really had the gaming consoles that had the Mortal Kombat game, so I never played it much. But I did play it some, just like at friends' houses and stuff. So I have a familiarity with it and remember some of the characters and stuff like that. So, but then the movie in the 90s, yeah, I saw it, but it was probably, I bet it's been 20 years since I saw it. I mean, it's been forever. I remember it being not that great, which was kind of expected almost.
Right.
But yeah, I don't have a real close history with the franchise. I wasn't especially excited that they were bringing it back and doing another movie, but I enjoy martial arts movies and the action and violence and stuff like that. So I was definitely planning on seeing it. So
nice. Yeah. And was this something because you initiated this bro out?
I did, bro.
Yeah. So we're broing it up. And what was it like? What made you choose Mortal Kombat instead of like the indie rom-com Together or any other movie?
I think just because it's like the first big movie that's coming out since I've been ready to go back to the theater, I think. Because I guess, how long have the theaters been open? Has it been a month or so?
AMC has been open actually for quite a while.
Have they?
I want to say that they maybe opened back up in like maybe November.
It's been that long.
It's been a while, but they've been they've been very like transparent about the cleaning and everything and all that, and they have very relatively strict guidelines, like you have to wear a mask and all that, and no cash is accepted or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but they have had like the A-list members that had their memberships on pause back in like last, I don't know, May. They are continuing to have it on pause until like July. And that's just AMC. Like Regal is just now like opening back up. Like the Regal near us in Avon isn't going to be opened back up until early next month. So in a couple of weeks. Yeah. But they're slowly rolling it out and everything. So
I couldn't even remember when they opened back up, but I don't know. I just felt like it was time to get back, and this is the big movie that's out right now, and actually a lot of people who are excited about it. So
nice.
I was like, I want to see it just to kind of be back in the swing of things.
Sweet. Yeah. I kind of have this weird thing where because Mortal Kombat is a Warner Brothers movie, and as part of Warner Brothers' deal, they are releasing the movies in theaters and HBO Max same day. And the HBO Max ones are going to be on HBO Max for free for 30 days, and then taken off HBO Max. And then, God, look at that lady's mask.
Oh boy, that's crazy.
It's just, what the fuck? Like, that's not...
Has like tassels on it.
It's tassels. Like, is there like a cloth under?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, thank God. Because Jesus Christ. Anyway, but yeah. So Warner Brothers and HBO, they had HBO Max releases of the same day theater ones for Warner Brothers. They're on it for 30 days, and then they go away until they come on home video. So I kind of have this weird thing where I really, now that I'm back going into the theater, and I'm not a hero. But now that I am fully vaccinated, please, I'm just like everyone else, guys. Come on. Come on. It's okay. You can sit down. So anyway, I kind of have this thing in my head where it's like, okay, well, when a Warner Brothers movie comes out and hits HBO Max, I want to see it in the theater just as kind of a, like, just to at least put, like, the stats toward, like, oh, people still go to the theater for this.
Right.
Just because I'm very hesitant about that. But anyway.
Yeah, right.
So we saw Mortal Kombat. Tiny, broad, non-spoiler thoughts. What did you think of Mortal Kombat?
It was pretty much what I expected.
Nice.
I wasn't expecting an Oscar nominee or anything like that, you know. It was fun. It was fun enough, you know. I think it was better than the 90s one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a much better premise, and the plot devices were better. Characters were a little more realized, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, I was really just here for some quality martial arts and straight up violence.
Yes.
And it had both of those to a very satisfying degre. So
Nice.
I ended up liking it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a top 10 or honorable mention or anything like that, but I wasn't expecting it to.
Right.
And I mean, after seeing it, I can say I'd be perfectly fine if they made some more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't like you saying, like, oh yeah, I don't see it being like a top 10 or anything, and then like my response was gonna be like, unless something happens to where no movies come out, and that there's something happens to the country and the world that, you know, creates a vacuum of movies and a ability to watch movies. Don't know how, like, what that would look like.
Right. Who knows?
So yeah, and I'm really regret not saying, like, not prompting you for that by saying, so with Mortal Kombat, are you going to say that when it comes on home video, are you going to say, get over here, or was it a fatality of a movie?
Oh my God.
But my overall thoughts is kind of similar to you. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's got some decent, like, humor and silliness to it. They tried, like, a little bit of, like, self-referential or meta stuff, like when Sonya Blade explains to Cole, like, all of the history and everything, and then she says, like, and they call it Mortal Kombat, and he's like, oh, did you just make that up? That's weird. It sounds like you made that up. And, like, that's funny, that's cute, but I don't really need it to be like a Community or a Lord and Miller kind of movie, like 21 Jump Street or anything. So I'm glad that they kind of stifled that.
Right.
But yeah, the action was pretty good, and the violence was really, really fun to watch. It wasn't, I mean, there were some really just out there crazy stuff, but it wasn't like as big as it wasn't as grotesque as it could have been, which I'm fine. Like, it struck a good balance there.
Yeah.
But the kind of overall feeling, I could take or leave any further movies. I would see a sequel, but I don't really care enough to see it.
Same here. Yeah. I'm not gonna be disappointed if they don't make them.
Yeah. And the story that they set out was pretty engaging. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. Do you recommend people see it in a theater? Because we did see it in Dolby.
Right.
How'd you feel about that?
Sure. I mean, it's, you know, the action and violence and stuff is always going to be better on a big screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sure. And plus, you know, go support the theaters right now.
Yes.
They really need it, you know.
Get vaccinated and then support the theaters.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated in the theater.
Right.
And pretend that you're in the future and use a QR code to fill up your drink, because that's pretty awesome.
That'd be a cool idea for the movie theaters to do that. Like have the
like a vaccine
like do vaccines, yeah, like, because they're not using all of their screens right now, so just have a couple of them designated for giving a vaccine. It's like you get $2 off your movie ticket or whatever, because the vaccine's going to be free.
Yeah. Oh, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. I mean,
like, that would be cool if they did that, and then, like, instead of having, well, this I don't know. Instead of having, like, the 15-minute, like, set aside thing, like, have the option of being like, oh, you know, come buy a ticket to a movie, get the vaccine, and then go sit in the movie. If you die from the vaccine in the movie, we'll reimburse your family. Or if you have any side effects and everything, you know, we have the people here to talk to you.
Right.
That would be really cool.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, totally. Well, next pandemic.
God.
So Yeah. Do you want to kind of go into spoilers? That's kind of a brief overview, but this is a bonus parking lot special.
Right.
How do you feel talking into the old mics?
Oh, they're fine. I missed them.
Yeah, me too, kind of. I'm glad that we have this mobile setup now.
Right.
Exclusively mobile setup. So anyway, we're going to go into spoilers for Mortal Kombat. So I'm going to play a clip from the trailer here that, since we don't have the new equipment with us, since we're mobile, I'm going to have to put it in post, which is going to be just kind of a fun little nostalgic thing. So anyway, here's a clip from the trailer. When we come back, we're going to do spoilers for Mortal Kombat.
These are your champions.
I'm Sonya. That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao.
Lord Raiden.
The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground, we will not fail.
Okay, so spoilers on for Mortal Kombat. The first thing I want to say is kind of the central conceit of the like, they don't necessarily do a tournament per se. They just have like Raiden sends the fighters to battle and sends them into different areas and everything, and pair them up with the bad guys. What I thought was really, really funny was that Jax goes to this like mythical realm that's like a rock bridge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just very like fantasy-esque and everything. And then and then the others go to different places similar to that. And then Sonya Blade's like, oh, just a little trailer in Gary, Indiana.
Right.
And like, I'm like, okay. But yeah, Indiana shout out. That was cool.
Right. Wonder if they did some location filming for that.
I highly doubt it.
I'm kidding. Of course they did. Why would they?
No. So what did you think in spoilers? How did you feel about the different pairings off and then the fighting and everything and more specific story elements?
Yeah, it was pretty good. The whole like tournament thing was like, so they keep talking about this tournament and then like it doesn't happen technically. Like,
right. All
they really do is just because the one dude's breaking the rules or whatever, which again, it was a little iffy. Like, I'm a little foggy on the rules here, like,
right.
But I don't really care because again, I'm just here to see blood. But yeah, it was that was a little shaky, but I was just there for the action, and the right from the get go, like I think within like 2 or 3 minutes, like the opening scene, like there's a sword going through a person and then through a door, and there's just blood everywhere. I was like, all right, this could work out. This could work out. And they didn't slow down from there. I think as far as like effects and violence and stuff like that, my favorite stuff was really Sub-Zero, like using his power, like the whole freezing stuff was just really freaking cool. It was just a really good effect. The CGI was really good. And there's a point, I think it's in the trailer, which I wish it wasn't, because there's a point where he's fighting someone and like he hurts them and blood shoots out of them and he freezes the blood and turns it into a spike and then stabs the person with it. That is just cool as shit.
That was
like,
so freaking cool.
That was super awesome. And I kind of wish it wasn't in the trailer because there's like, that was kind of like tops as far as like the coolest thing in the movie. And I kind of wish it wouldn't have been in the trailer.
I didn't remember it from the trailer.
Really?
So I was pretty pleased with it.
The only thing that was close to it was, what was the guy's name with the Frisbee hat?
Kung Lao?
Kung Lao, I think that was his name. He did the like table saw thing where he sawed the chick in half.
That was pretty.
That was kick ass.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
pretty
that was
awesome.
Those were the two like big, like gore, holy shit moments, and they worked really well. So.
Oh yeah. Also, I really liked Jax's thing.
Yeah, that was cool
with the arms. That was pretty cool. When Sub-Zero freezes his arms and like it lingers on that and has Jax like react to it, and he's like, "Oh shit, my arms are gone."
Right.
And then takes him out and everything. That was good. There's and I don't want to nitpick or anything because it's not worth nitpicking because I mean it's a video game movie about just fighting and everything. It's a fighting video game movie. So something that I just think is just kind of played out and silly is this, like the idea of like Sonya Blade's like little like trailer and like having that like secret area where she's like, oh, I'm investigating everything, and it's like the most cliched, like,
Oh yeah.
just stuff strewn about on boards and everything.
Right.
And then like when the lizard thing comes and sets fire to it, and like there's a fire and everything, and she's like, oh, years of research is gone now, and I'm like, you didn't have like a flash drive or anything?
For real.
You didn't back your shit up? It was just this physical paper that was boarded like all across the walls.
Right.
So that was kind of silly. But what did you think of that lizard kind of fight sequence?
It was fine. It was cool. It was it was just sort of random. Like,
Yeah.
not sure where that came from. I was kind of looking for, more of the traditional Mortal Kombat matchups.
Right.
But that was just a random creature that they sent. But it looked cool enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of it was kind of a silly thing. Like there was a shot of it kind of crawling across the ceiling, making noises and like dripping the acid or whatever.
Yeah.
And like then you get a shot of Cole and Sonya just like looking around like, where is it? I'm like, can you not fucking hear it? It's right above you.
It's right there. It's a giant lizard.
Yeah. But the cool thing about that was Kano, the way that he takes the flare and stabs it into the lizard. That was really cool. That was a cool like visual of
Totally.
it. So yeah. What did you think of Kano, by the way?
Yeah, speaking of Kano, he was probably the funnest part of the movie. I mean, he had the most comic relief, and it wasn't like stupid crappy. It wasn't like I mean, it was he was over the top for sure, but
Sure.
it was quality comedic relief, comic relief. He was pretty funny. I laughed out loud more than once. So yeah, he was really fun. I enjoyed his character a lot.
Yeah, me too. He kind of ran the risk of being a little bit overbearing or overdone.
Yeah.
But I think that the character turn, as kind of silly and weird as it was, like, oh, he's suddenly going to be just a bad guy or whatever.
Right.
Very kind of lackluster in that department. But once that character turn happens, it's enough to where it's like he didn't overstay his welcome when he was a quote unquote good guy.
Right.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this movie? Anything? Do you want to go beat for beat for the plot and the story elements and kind of the way that it equates to like ancient like martial arts lore and everything, and how that comes into play and relates to the film?
No, because it'd probably take 2 minutes because there's it's so random.
Yeah. People fighting, it looks cool.
Right. That's the onus of the movie, and again, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine to make a movie about that.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Do you see yourself wanting to see more video game movies that are based on like would you see a Street Fighter movie? Which apparently there was a Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's like really bad.
Yeah. I was on Peacock, and I saw that they had the original or the 1995 Mortal Kombat, and like under related is like Street Fighter, and there's Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like I looked and it's like play trailer, and it's just a clip, and I'm like, this is horrifically bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against not comic book. I'm not against video game movies at all. They just typically don't work out.
Yeah.
Just thinking of some of the really bad past ones like Street Fighter and like that Max Payne movie with Mark Wahlberg was horrible.
Oh God.
They just don't really work out, but there's so many games I've played in the past that as I'm playing them, I'm like, this would be an awesome movie.
Right.
It just, I don't know why it doesn't work out. Like the, Uncharted.
Yeah.
They've been talking about an Uncharted movie forever.
Yes.
And I don't know what happens with it, but it just keeps getting kicked down the road or whatever. That'd be fun as hell to see.
It's coming this year.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
With Tom Holland.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Nathan Drake.
I quit following the news on it because I was they've been talking about it for like 10 years. So.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And then the other franchise was the, what's that? I can't remember what it's, BioShock?
Oh, yeah.
They've been talking about that forever, and
That's right.
don't know if it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
That'd be a really cool movie.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what is on the horizon for video game movies. I don't think this is like a harbinger of harbinger of like good things to come or anything.
Right.
But I think that I've long thought that, okay, video game movies will probably have their day in the sun at some point, and we're inching toward that, I think.
Right. I have a soft spot for the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, yeah.
They're not good, like blatantly not good. But I just feel like Paul W.S. Anderson, the writer and director and producer and stuff, he's married to Mia Jovovich.
Right.
I feel like he just goes out and he's just like, let's do this, and he just like has fun. He's like a kid in a candy store.
Sure.
And I just have fun with those movies. I haven't watched any of them in a long time, but they were just kind of fun, and I have a soft spot for those. But
that's fair.
I just don't foresee. I'm waiting for a video game movie to come along that like really breaks the mold and is like a really high quality movie that's, you know, critically acclaimed across the board, or just does incredibly well, you know, which, I don't know.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, what if they made like a Pac-Man movie that's like on the level of like The Dark Knight? It would be The Dark Knight of video game movies, and it's Pac-Man.
I'm Pac-Man.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay, well, your truck is getting fogged up, and parting thoughts on Mortal Kombat. It was fun. It's a fun little excursion into the theater or onto HBO Max if you're not comfortable going to the theater yet. It's a pretty good time.
Yep.
Just go in with your expectations what they are.
Right.
So coming up on the podcast, I think next week we're going to do because I'm going to post this probably tonight. So to kind of coincide with the Oscars coming up tomorrow. But we are going to be doing Ebert's Great Movies List, Part 8. And on Tower Junkies, I think we're going to do later. We're still planning on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully next week. And then I've got more anthology stuff, so check that out. But also check out Patreon, patreon.com/obsessiveviewer, where I'm posting a shit ton of stuff frequently and everything. So check that out, and it gives us money and lets us do this more often and more fun stuff. So check that out, patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. And any parting thoughts, Tiny?
No, thanks for joining us, guys.
All right, yes, thanks for joining us on our Bro Down parking lot special with the windows fogged up in broad daylight. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. And now, here's a short clip from our Patreon exclusive RSS feed. To hear the full clip and more exclusive Patreon content, go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer and become a patron at the minimum rate of $1 per month. Thank you and enjoy. And they're like, okay, it's been ordered. The check has been ordered. It's in the mail. It'll be there for in 3 to 5 weeks. And we hope that you use our company again someday. I'm like, okay. That was, at this point, 11 or 12 weeks ago. Have not received a check at all. And just seething with anger. And so I decided to, I called them again. And, I was like, okay, this is going on for way too long. So I called Acceptance Now as the credit people thing. They're the ones that owe me the money. So after all of this, I was like, okay, I have new equipment. I'm going to record every phone call that I have with them, just in case this gets to a point where I need to have a legal thing. I need to take them to small claims court to get my $300 I paid for my fucking order. So I want to kind of present this very short, 10-second clip by saying that in my head, when I called them, I had called them and left a voicemail, and then they called me back, but I wasn't, I didn't answer it because I wanted to record the call. So I called them back. And the whole time I was calling them back, I was I was psyching myself up. I'm like, all right, this is I'm going to just say right up front, hey, I'm recording this conversation. You guys have given me the fucking runaround and everything. I want my fucking money.
This call will be recorded for training and quality assurance purposes.
No. But I was like, I'm going to, I'm done with this. This is my putting my foot on the ground. Listen, you are being recorded right now. You're going to give me my fucking money. And so this is what the actual phone call happened.
So what's going on, darling?
Okay, so and just so you know that I don't mean to be I don't know, but I'm actually recording the conversation just to have it on
Okay.
file. So,
Okay.
I ordered furniture from.
Oh shit,
So, yeah.
bro.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damn, did she just hang up on you, man?
No, I faded it out. But
She probably fucking cried herself to sleep, bro.
right.
The Obsessive Viewer podcast is edited and produced by Matt Hurt and presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. For a full archive of our episodes, go to ObsessiveViewer.com/OV archive. You can also like our Facebook page and join the OV Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And follow us on Twitter at ObsessiveViewer and at ObsessiveTiny. And follow our recurring co-hosts at I am Mike White, that's me, at R.A. Feckus, and at Burger_Lurker. If you enjoy the show, please take a couple minutes to leave us a rating and a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This is the easiest way to support what we do, and all it costs is a little bit of your time. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate, or support us on Patreon for recurring donations and access to commentary tracks and B-roll audio recorded exclusively for patrons at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or you can simply search for Obsessive Viewer at teepublic.com, T-E-E, public.com. For information about our annual live event showcasing short horror films from local filmmakers, check out shocktoberinirvington.com. And for an archive of all our events, as well as news about potential future events, head over to obsessiveviewer.com/live. For more podcast content, you can find Anthology, Matt's solo podcast covering The Twilight Zone and other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows at anthologypod.com and on Twitter at OVAnthologyPod. You can also find Tower Junkies, a podcast where Matt and Tiny share their love of all things Stephen King and his magnum opus, the Dark Tower series, at towerjunkiespod.com and at towerjunkiespod on Twitter. And finally, check out The Secular Perspective, Tiny's side project podcast, which tackles current events and life's big questions from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda at thesecularperspective.com. The theme music for The Obsessive Viewer comes courtesy of the band Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. Additional bumper music is provided courtesy of As Good As It Gets, which can be found at facebook.com/asgoodasitgetsband. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!